everybody. It's Friday, August 21st, and it is Europa League final day between Sevilla and Inter. Should be fun. We actually have a surprisingly big, GPP for the final. In past years, like the Europa League final, almost was an afterthought. So nice to see some extra prize pools. We have the $11 is $10K to first, over 4,000 entries. So it should be fun. I'll just say this. Sevilla is good for DFS. Inter, on the other hand, especially this Inter lineup that Conte has been rolling out the last few games, not so good for DFS or floor building, as I like to build, looking for the guys that are on sets, give you crosses, all that stuff. Inter, not so much right now. So let's go over that and hopefully get you guys some help to get you some good builds and, let's crush this slate. Just a quick reminder, bottom right of the screen is the subscribe button. If you enjoy these videos, love what FSI is pumping out, please give us a subscribe. Our next big goal is 750 and subscribers, so could really, really use y'all's help that are watching but just haven't hit that button. Hit it. It's worth it. Promise we're going to keep bringing you some awesome content. All right, let's jump into the odds and the lineups, give you some GPP thoughts, and get out of here. All right, so Inter, slight favorite, plus 117. Sevilla, plus 242, 2.5 total. So I'm just putting the lineups that I expect for the sets. I don't expect to see Eriksen. I don't expect to see Sanchez. Don't expect to see Candreva. No Baraghai. I think it's going to be Ashley Young at the left wing back spot, and then Brozovic in the middle. So those two will split sets. Young had been taking more. Brozovic, we saw in some corners last game, and actually delivered the corner that led to the D'Ambrosio goal. And then on the Sevilla side of things, it's almost all Ever Banega on sets. Suso could take a few. Jordan has taken at times, but in the final, I just think it'll be Ever Banega over everything. All right, so let's just start. I guess let's start with the favorite in Inter. What makes this slate really weird is that, despite Inter being the favorite, you look up and down Inter and you go, like, D'Ambrosio, no floor. He doesn't really cross. Barella, a little bit of a floor. I'll just say this about Barella. Loves to bomb forward. He actually plays more of like a number 10 role where he can kind of float, attack a little bit. So he's the most attacking of the midfield. Brozovic, class player. Really is an amazing midfielder, but outside of the sets, not much for DFS. I guess it works out that he's only 4,800, so I think he's a fine play. Gagliardini, not good for DFS. Ashley Young, so overpriced. It's disgusting for what he's been doing. Like last game, he's 8,200 on this slate, but last game, they win 5-0. Ashley Young's finest stat line, 1 shot assisted, 1 cross, 2 fouls committed, 2 tackles won. And thank goodness for him that he got the clean sheet. I'm sorry, he's a midfield eligible. He doesn't get clean sheet eligibility. Finishes with a total of 60K. He was 9,000 last night. He's 8,200 here. I don't see a way that you play him. Maybe an onslaught. I think Inter's going to win 3-0 builds that you put him in, but his floor is complete and utter shit for what you're paying. Then Lukaku obviously has been dynamite in Europe in the regular season. He now has 6 goals in 5 games, has scored in every single Europa League game since Inter got knocked out of the Champions League. So obviously he'll be the highest owned player in the slate. He's 11-2. I think that Lukaku, if we're honest with each other and we're really just talking about being GPP builders here, might be one of the best fades of the slate. Sevilla's defense has been outstanding since the restart. It's scary, but if you have a 4,000 plus person GPP, there's going to be heavy ownership on the guy that has to score to pay off that price tag. It's a worthwhile fade. And then finally, Lautaro Martinez was the FSI hero. I had him at captain in cash last late, but finally broke out of his little slump. Just pulling up real quick with 2 goals and assists, 4 shots. But before that, hadn't scored in the Europa League. I'll just say this, he is the most he and Barella are the 2 creative pieces in this lineup. He sits a little bit behind Lukaku. mostly in the formation. Great player. He was on Barcelona's map for a while. He was on some big team maps. It looks like he'll just stay at Inter, considering they're going to finish second in Serie A and have a chance to win the Europa League. But very good player. I like his price in comparison to Lukaku, 8,800. So that is the Inter side of things. Let's go over to Sevilla. Ever Banega is the top play on most of the sets. Used to be on PKs, but now that's Lucas Ocampos. Lucas Ocampos, good player in play in himself. Some open play on top of, just a good player. He is probably a little bit steep, but more of a floor than Martinez or Lukaku. Suso, he used to be, when he played for Milan, huge crosser on a lot of sets. Not so much for Sevilla, but scored last leg. Good player, fine price for an attacker. And Nesri, GPP only, goal or bust. Jordan, don't be confused by the logs. Likely won't be on sets, but good midfielder. Could take a free kick or maybe a corner or two. If he takes one, don't be shocked. But, probably deserves his price tag of nothing. What is he at? He's at 4,000. Let's see if my internet's going to work. Maybe not. There we go. But a lot of those ones where you see 5 cross, 4 cross, 3 cross, that's when he had sets. But in the last 2 games, 6.2, 7.1, what else do we want for a guy for 4K? It's fine. The best, floor plays in Sevilla outside Banega are Sergio Reguilon and Jesus Navas. Navas is the bigger crosser of the two, yet it's cheaper. So I think he's going to be a fine play. Will be very, very highly owned in cash. And that's kind of how you attack Sevilla. So that is the player breakdown. Hope that helps you in terms of just understanding, who does what. Now let's just talk about strategy. And I'm not going to talk about cash strategy because I think, I kind of mentioned, maybe who's there, but it's not the best cash slate ever. You're going to have to play a goal-dependent guy. You're probably going to have to play Lukaku. You may even play Martinez, or maybe you go Ocampos or Suso, something like that. You're not going to love your cash build from a floor perspective. So I do want to just talk about GPP. One thing I've been talking about with a lot of our subs, and we had another sub at FSI win the MLS tournament last night yet again with the strategy, is Onslaughts. I think it's a little harder here because the game is fairly even and, the floors are all kind of gross, but, continues to show that lineups where you have kind of a 5-1 on one side of things to run it back at the keeper. There's a lot of equity in that type of lineup. If a team does, let's say have 8-9 shots, that's a lot of DK points from 8-9 shots on goal, right? You get 2 for every shot on goal. You get a shot assist on almost all of them. A lot of times resulted from a cross. Go on and on. Every shot on goal could be worth, 3.7 points at times. Well, if you run it back with the other goalie and he saves it, now it's just 5.7. So you start adding that up over and over and over and over again, and you get some high numbers. Now, what's the downfall with an onslaught build is, well, if you get the onslaught wrong, that lineup's immediately going to be down, near the bottom. Or if you get the onslaught fairly right, maybe you miss the goal or two, and your goalie has 2 saves and allows 3 goals, that's -2. That lineup's done too. So just understand there's a pros and cons of running that type of lineup, but there is a lot of equity in the win. So I think that it's very in play to run Banega, Ocampos, Suso, Navas, Reguilon, and run it back with Handanovic. And there's plenty of equity of doing Lukaku, Martinez, Barella, Brozovic, Young. Maybe you don't do 5 Inter, maybe you do 4 Banega and run it back with Bonu. These are just ideas that not a lot of people are going to do in a 4,000 person tournament. I think you should do. Final thought, I'll say this. I predicted Sevilla to beat Man United because their defense has been so good. It was actually not that great versus United. Bonu stood on his head. United had a ton of opportunities, just couldn't finish them out. I still think Sevilla's defense is quite good. But that being said, Inter's a really good team. Despite us not loving a lot of the pieces on Inter for DFS, Lukaku is a world-class striker. Martinez is on his way to become a world-class striker. Barella was a huge signing the offseason. A ton of big clubs wanted him. Brozovic is a very, like I said, class midfielder. Ashley Young's past his prime, but he does what Antonio Conte wants. D'Ambrosio, somewhat the same. Like, you have a lot of guys and a great manager. So despite like not loving Inter, don't let your like looking at their DFS stuff and going, sucks, going that the team sucks. They do not. They are very good. So don't make that mistake. Anyhow, I hope this helps. Really do appreciate you guys tuning in. This one little announcement I was really looking forward to on Sunday, maybe doing like a live stream once Champions League finals lineups came out. I will be on the road, and our YouTube account is not big enough. We have to have over 1,000 subscribers to do a live via mobile. So unfortunately, I will not be able to do that. Look for the preview to drop sometime tomorrow. Make sure you give it a watch and continue to watch everything that we're dropping in the FSI. We have NHL, NBA, PGA, MLB, all sorts of stuff for you guys, you DFS addicts out there. Really hope it's helping, and thank you once again. Good luck today. See ya.